Have you ever been suddenly cut off by someone, left wondering what you did wrong and struggling to pick up the pieces of your shattered heart? It's like being dropped into a dark ocean with no lifeline. You're left gasping for air, trying to make sense of why someone who once mattered so much has now vanished from your life. I still remember the day my friend Sarah suddenly stopped responding to me. We had been close for years, sharing our deepest secrets and supporting each other through thick and thin. But one morning, her phone went dark. No messages, no calls, nothing. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving me feeling lost and confused. At first, I thought maybe she was just busy or needed space. But as the days turned into weeks and then months, it became clear that something more profound was at play. The silence was deafening, a heavy fog that settled over our friendship like a shroud. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, struggling to catch my breath. In the aftermath of her sudden cut, I grappled with feelings of rejection, hurt, and even shame. It took me a while to process what had happened, but as I looked back on our relationship, I began to see patterns and red flags that I'd missed before. This personal experience has stayed with me, and it's what led me to explore the psychological factors behind sudden cutoffs. When we experience childhood trauma, our emotional landscape is forever altered. It's like a storm that brews inside us, shaping the way we navigate relationships as adults. Some people may develop strategies to cope with their pain, but these coping mechanisms can become entrenched patterns of behavior. For instance, they might overfunction in relationships, becoming overly responsible and sacrificing their own needs to avoid feeling abandoned or rejected. Imagine being a delicate flower that's been repeatedly watered by an overzealous gardener. You start to rely on external validation for your worthiness rather than cultivating self-love. This is what happens when we're not allowed to experience our full range of emotions as children. We become people pleasers, desperate for reassurance and approval. As adults, this can lead to an intense fear of abandonment, causing us to push others away before they can abandon us. It's a twisted attempt at self-protection, but ultimately, it reinforces the very feelings we're trying to escape. You know that feeling when you've been putting everyone else's needs before your own, trying to be the perfect friend or partner. It's like being a leaf on a tree, constantly swaying in the wind, trying to adjust to every gust of criticism or demand. You start to feel drained, like your roots are withering away. As we've discussed, relationships can be a delicate dance, and when anxiety takes center stage, the music changes tempo. The constant scrutiny, the fear of making mistakes or being rejected, it's like walking on thin ice, where one misstep can send you plummeting into uncertainty. You start to overthink every interaction, replaying conversations in your head, wondering if you said something wrong or should have done things differently. It's as if you're trapped in a never-ending loop of what ifs and maybes. The anxiety creeps in, making it difficult to breathe, to think clearly, and to trust yourself. And that's when the perfect storm brews. Overthinking and anxiety combine to create a toxic mix that can lead to rash decisions, including cutting others off. I've seen this happen with friends who were once inseparable, but suddenly stopped responding to messages or calls. It's as if they're trying to escape the pressure of it all, even if it means abandoning the very people they care about. You know, we've all been there. In relationships where one person suddenly seems distant, unresponsive, or even hostile. It's like a switch has been flipped, and the connection that was once strong is now severed. But have you ever stopped to think about why this happens? For some people, it's not just about being unhappy or stressed. It's about the mask of high-functioning depression. Imagine living with a constant sense of fog in your mind, like trying to navigate through thick mist. You might be able to put on a smile, go through the motions, and even excel at work, but inside, you're struggling to stay afloat. It's exhausting, and it can lead people to push others away without realizing it. I remember a friend who was like this. On the surface, she seemed fine, charming, witty, and always there for her loved ones. But beneath that facade, she was drowning in anxiety and self-doubt. One day, she just stopped calling, stopped showing up, and eventually broke off all contact. It was a heartbreak that left everyone stunned and wondering what had happened. As we explore the complexities of mental health, we'll see how high-functioning depression can contribute to sudden breakups and difficulties in relationships. So, you've been noticing that someone close to you has been pulling away, but maybe not in a way that's overtly obvious. They're still responding to your messages, still showing up for social events, but there's an unmistakable chill in the air. It's like they've put up a subtle barrier around themselves, and no matter how hard you try to connect with them, it feels like you're banging on a locked door. Maybe you've even tried talking to them about what's going on, but they brush off your concerns or change the subject. It's like trying to have a conversation through a fog machine. Everything is muffled and unclear. Or perhaps you've noticed that this person seems increasingly stressed or overwhelmed, like they're carrying an invisible weight on their shoulders. They might be snapping at you for no reason, or lashing out in ways that feel hurtful and confusing. These are all red flags that something's amiss, and by recognizing them early on, we can take proactive steps to address the underlying issues before it's too late. As we navigate the aftermath of a sudden cut, it's essential to remember that our worth isn't tied to someone else's approval or relationship status. Think of your self-worth like a garden. It can be ravaged by harsh weather conditions, but with care and attention, it can flourish again. You've likely experienced moments where you felt blindsided by someone's sudden withdrawal, leaving you questioning your own actions. Take Sarah, for instance, who had been in a long-term friendship with Emily. One day, without warning, Emily stopped responding to messages or calls. Sarah was left reeling, wondering what she could have done differently. In this moment, it's crucial to focus on self-care and prioritize your emotional well-being. Engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul, whether that's exercise, journaling, or spending time with loved ones. By doing so, you'll begin to regain control over your life and rebuild trust in yourself. As we wrap up our exploration of why some people suddenly cut everyone off, I want to leave you with a crucial takeaway. Relationships are a two-way street. It's not just about being hurt or betrayed by someone else. It's also about recognizing how our own actions and emotions contribute to the dynamic. Think of a tree that's been uprooted in a storm. If we only focus on rebuilding the tree itself, we might miss the underlying issues that led to its collapse in the first place. Similarly, when someone cuts us off, we need to examine our own roots, our relationships with ourselves and others. By embracing vulnerability and taking ownership of our emotions and behaviors, we can create healthier, more meaningful connections with others. It's not about being a victim or an aggressor. It's about being willing to learn, grow, and evolve together. And that's where the real healing begins. As we wrap up this conversation, remember that you're not defined by someone else's sudden cut. Your worth and value come from within. It's okay to feel the pain of abandonment or rejection, but don't let it consume you. Instead, use it as a catalyst for growth. Prioritize your own healing, nurture relationships that uplift you, and cultivate self-compassion. You deserve love, care, and respect, not just from others, but from yourself as well. Take this opportunity to rediscover yourself. And remember, you are not alone in this journey.